Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Welcome back to another Ask Me Anything, and welcome back to $100,000 Bitcoin. In fact, $101,000. You might have seen this meme going around, or not even a meme. People are just like so unoriginal. So I've seen the same tweet so many times. When Bitcoin was 100K, ETH was at 4K, and then it shows every time Bitcoin hits 100K and just ETH going down and down and down and down. But hey, you know what? At least ETH is above $2,000 right now. Hope you guys have been patient, followed the advice in the last couple of videos. I know the last Ask Me Anything, I told you guys it is literally go time. You don't have much time left, and hopefully you packed your bags and today you're up significantly in profit. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about what next steps look like and basically what we can expect going forward with the market, and also some things I want you guys to consider. As always, would appreciate it if you hit the like button, if you share the video with someone that you know. One of the toughest things about being real on YouTube and not just sort of telling people what they want to hear all the time is you don't grow your following as much. So hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. Hope you guys have sort of, been around. Hope you guys still believe. And by the way, post in the chat, let me know you're here, whether you're sort of watching on Twitter, whether you're watching on YouTube, which is where I predominantly host my videos. Okay. With that being said, also, if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, I do have private services. Web3 Secret Society is sort of a community that we've built, sort of learn about airdrops and make sure that you're on the cutting edge. Most people who are in there will tell you that the value that it brings. And if you are more of a person who says, hey, I need somebody to put together a plan for me that I can follow, well, then that's where the private video calls really come in handy. Now, as you guys know, I don't just sort of have this wallet, but this is a wallet that I share with you guys. At the low point, I think this wallet was below $100,000 during the correction, and we're starting to see prices to trickle up, and obviously the value of this portfolio going up. And what's really nice about this is the difference here from last time is this does not include the value of certain NFT projects as well. So you see I got a Pudgy Penguins here, I got a Milady, I got a Azuki. What's not pictured here is also the Wealthy Hypeo, which I believe is worth like $6,000 or $7,000 as well. It's pretty good. And like I said, hope you guys are seeing some gains in your portfolio. The one thing I'll tell you, because information is a double-edged sword, you really have to tune out really stupid people. Like if you were following Ansem at the bottom, he was telling people it was over, cycles cooked. Most people on YouTube, most people on Twitter were doom posting, right? While I came on and made videos in February, March telling you guys, yeah, we're going to correct, we're going to go down, but I said, we're going to pivot and we're going to hit the bottom and then we're going to move up. And when that bottom hits, I let you guys know, which I did. Maybe you probably got in between 5 to 10% from the lows, which should mean that you're up 3 to 4x on the bigger alts, and obviously maybe like 20, 30, 40% on the majors. So still pretty good. Let's see who's in the chat first before we keep moving. We got Fanman here. Good evening, Brown Gent. It's been a good day. Yeah, hope you guys have been having a fantastic day. It's crazy how the market can make you feel so many different feelings, right? Like you can feel super depressed, super down, like, oh my God, it's over, right? Coping hard. And then you can feel like, oh my God, is it time? Are we going to the moon? Is it going to never end? Are we just in for nonstop green candles? And what I'll tell you is what you see on Twitter is actually the opposite of what you should be doing. On Twitter, you would have been seeing a lot of people coming out and saying, hey, you know what? I think that the market is basically cooked. It's over. It's done. Put a wrap on it, right? And that's the time you should likely be bidding, right? When these people who are super bullish, who are telling you when Bitcoin's at 110K, that now we're going to 500K, Once they start talking about like macro environmental factors and becoming tariff experts, this is the time where you're like, these guys are retards. I'm not going to listen to them. And what you should do is do the opposite. And most of the time, like I'll show you, you have the crypto fear and greed index. It never fails, guys. If you didn't play this right, it's fine. You will learn, because guess what? I didn't get this the first time either, but I've been here long enough to know, hey, when things are so bad that you think it's over, these are the times to buy. And the times when it's super greedy, super like, oh my God, we're never going to stop. That's the time that you really want to make sure that you're pretty much out of the market. It literally never fails. Don't let someone convince you otherwise, because you will have this spot again. You will be with another opportunity where you're sitting here, you're like, oh my God, you've made life-changing money, but what if you 2x it? That's what's going to come into your head. And you've got to be there, and you've got to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to sort of let my greed take over, right? Look at the fear and greed. Think back to March of 24. Bitcoin was what, like 50K, 70K? Like that's what we came to, right? Yeah, like Bitcoin was 70K. Well, guess what? Ultra peak. Every day was a new all-time high, and people were like, oh my God, this is never going to end, right? I was watching Bankless, and they were just like celebrating, high-fiving, doing whatever. And what happened, right? People were just like super optimistic, and we literally went from there all the way to the bottom. We had a massive correction over the course of a couple months. Then we had the November 5th election in the US, right? Donald Trump was winning, bang, skyrocket. And then we peaked in early November, and literally this was the time to start taking money off the table. Obviously, most of us did not. But guess what? This was the time when sentiment was at its highest. And if you took your money off the table then, you would have basically saved so much. Remember, guys, I know a lot of you watching, you guys don't have a lot of money to put into crypto. I mean, some of you do. But I'm talking to the person who's got like $100, $1,000, $500, whatever it may be. And what you need to do, the less money you have, the more you have to follow principles. The more you have to say, hey, once the market is tilting, and this is why I say bookmark the fear and greed index. Once you're in this bright green, just say, hey, look, I know it can go up more. I'm going to close, because if it goes down, I am able to make so much more money, because you're able to sell the tops and buy the bottoms again, right? And between November 22nd, right, when we have peak sentiment, even though Bitcoin sort of, topped around Jan, like, or not top, but basically revisited the top, we went from November 22nd all the way to the second week of March, and then revisited this, right? So this is like the tariff, ultra tariff, like China and US. This was a dick measuring contest. You're trying to, whose dick is bigger or whatever, right? And then we had the pause. The market started to say, okay, you know what? Let's have a breather, and it started to come back. Now, we are not in greed yet, but we will quickly get there. This is going to happen before you know it. And people, when things are green, all you want every day is more green candles. But the market doesn't work like that. We cannot expect the market to give us 3 months of just straight up. Our market has matured. This is no longer the traditional 4-year cycle, right? It just isn't. If it was, this wouldn't have been playing out this way. It just doesn't. So what you have to do is look at the fear and greed index, and it'll help guide you. Obviously, there are other things that can help you as well, other sort of sentiment factors, right? Think back to January. It was my second week in Dubai, and Trump launched the meme coin, right? That should have been a very clear top signal. In fact, when you watch the sort of vape cabal, who's pretty much disbanded now, I think Aiden Hall was the one who was like, or Aiden Ross was like, wait, who can make a bigger headline than Trump launching a token, right? And he was right. Even though everyone was like, no, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So keep this in mind, okay? And also keep in mind, as I always tell you guys, I'm just going to go in the hype chart, the market does not move in a straight line. Typically, it does not. Where are we? What's this stupid? Here we go. So basically, when we were going down, we went down like this, right? When we go up, we're going to do the same thing. So be prepared for pullbacks, right? Pullbacks and rallies forward. And all the while this is going on, look at the fear and greed index. And please promise me if you're watching this video that you will make taking profit a part of your strategy. Don't be blind. People will constantly telling you to hold. These people don't have your best interest at heart, because a lot of people know that if they tell you to sell, they're not going to make as much money, because for them, like, and I've talked to people, right? People have this belief of, well, you should have done your own research, you should do your own thing, but it's on you to sort of hit the buy button. It's on you to sell. So when things are at their toughest and you're thinking it's over, that's where you buy what you have conviction in, right? When you got signals of a bottom, or you follow experts who can help you with that. I personally am not an expert at figuring out what market bottoms are. I mean, I'm okay at it, but this is why I kept referring you to Jackus. I kept showing you Jackus's tweets. I kept posting his Twitter, telling you guys to follow him, and the guy nailed the Pico bottom, and he nailed not the Pico top, but he nailed the moment to pivot from basically, Ethereum and everything else that early February, right? He said ETH 2800. No, ETH is going to 2100 or 1600, and he was right. Right? So this is why, if this is not your strong suit, that's okay, because you're here to make money. Fantastic. Outsource what you're missing. Outsource what you don't know or what you don't care to understand to experts who are willing to provide you real guidance and real explanations. This is why I really respect Jackus, because Jackus is very transparent. A lot of people like Alex Becker and others will post the same bullshit every day. He's been posting all season, literally every other day for over a year. And of course, one day he's going to be right, or he's going to have a period of a week where he's right. But that's not what you need. What you need is to make sure that you're following the right path and you're not getting shaken out from your bags at the bottom, and you're not sitting there hoarding your bags like an idiot at the top. These are the two things that you've got to get better at. I know many of you have gotten a lot better at that. And remember, this is going to be a constant cycle. The earlier you learn this, the more profitable you will be. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you completely blow up this cycle. Let's say you screw everything up and you learn a painful lesson. Well, next time, you will know what to do better. This is what happened to me. Like, I didn't blow up, but I made way less money last cycle than I did this cycle. I've shared with you guys on Twitter sort of my profit wallet and all those other things that I've been doing, just to show you some examples of what you can do. So I hope this has really helped. All right, we'll see. We got here, cut to the story. Now everyone will believe in crypto again. Start buying over 100K and then complain when it dips down to 85K. Yeah, so let's actually take a look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin right here, you guys remember like a couple weeks ago or a month ago, I drew this wedge of sorts, right? This line that we had to break through. We broke the downtrend. We took the liquidity here. We never came back, right? And just as a reminder, right, you can see on the orange line, if we go to the weekly, I keep repeating this, but I hope you guys remember, on the weekly, the 50 EMA on the weekly for Bitcoin is such a fantastic indicator. You take a look at it, and it's in a sort of bullish bias market. It is literally always above it, or literally on the line, which is, we saw this here in August, September in the correction. We saw this right here, right? Like, look back in September as well, like right here. And then we saw it bounce here again. It's literally right here. So the 50 EMA on the weekly for Bitcoin is literally one of your best indicators. And I'm glad to hear what you're saying, cut to the story. Sell into strength. And also, the more conviction you have to buy the dip, the more you can also liquidate some of those purchases on these rips, because like I said, the market doesn't just go straight up, right? Like, we may have some nice green candles, but we could also have like a big green candle here, right? Like we can see here, we're going toward 106, but we can come back down to 96K, for example, and then go up. No problem, right? So find ways where you can pay yourself, where you can take profits, where you can like basically, get yourself something nice because you deserve it, right? I'm just going to assume that none of you guys got into crypto to spend all your days and nights looking at charts, looking at sort of, airdrop farming and whatever. You guys want a better life for you, your family, your legacy, right? And the only way to do that is to convert some of that money into cash, fiat, stable coins, whatever it may be. And like I'm saying, I'm doing that, but I'm still super long on the market, which is why, I'm very, very vocal about this. And by selling, I'll give you an example. Today, I sold some ETH and I sold some SOL. Why? Because look at this massive candle, right? It's like 200. The last time we had a candle like this on the daily was, I think, back in March or April of last year when they announced the ETH ETF, when they sort of announced the filing of it for BlackRock. I remember walking back from the gym and we had this. Well, I had bought like, 10 ETH on the side for like 17 something. So I sold all of that, right? And these are all my extra positions, not my core positions, right? If you go look over here, this is one of my wallets, but you can see here, I've got like 40 ETHs just sitting in this wallet right here. I've also got I got like 47 sitting here, and I got more like sitting in like protocols and NFTs and whatever else, right? So like I said, don't feel bad taking profits. All right, we got Skill here. What's up? Nice to be here on time to attend. Yeah, glad to have you. Is it time to FOMO? I wouldn't say FOMO. You got to be cautious. Remember, we just had some pretty green like God candles, and the market doesn't move straight up. But you should be positioned long. Like I'm heavily positioned long. I basically, one of the things I did near the bottoms, so I was shorting to the bottom, right? And while we were in certain ranges, I didn't close my shorts. But for example, I had a few short ETH, but when I closed my ETH long today, I closed my ETH short. So I was still more long ETH than short ETH in that position. So like I still made a bunch of money, but the only short I still have open is Bitcoin. I have like 0.3 Bitcoin short, but I have a way bigger long position on Bitcoin. So it's not a problem. I'm still like 90% long on Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? 90% plus. So what I would say to you guys is don't look at it as FOMOing. What you want to do is look at places where you can get a good deal, right? And don't let people convince you when you get the time for the deal not to buy it. So a very good example of this is Hyperliquid, right? Hyperliquid came into this range, right? If we zoom back and I think back to like my videos in February, and we were sitting around $21, right? We were sitting, $25, $28. At this stage right here on February 19th, there was a lot of discussion about how this was going to break to the upside. It rejected, came down, and before it came down, I was even saying like, while this was here, I would not recommend buying Hyperliquid. I'm waiting for $14-ish, right? We got the $14 price tag. I bought some. We then came down. We started breaking past this. Obviously, at this region, this is when Binance and I think it was BitGet were trying to raid the HLP vault. Well, thankfully that sort of got fixed, and they centralized. They used a centralized method to delist some stupid token that Binance basically was using to abuse the Hyperliquid vault and try to raid it. And since then, we've started moving up. And that's why, I was buying hype. So I bought, once we got back in this range, I'm like, okay, great. We retested this range. I bought it, kept buying some hype, which is what I was telling you guys to do. And now we're here. So I'm not really buying any hype anymore. But let's say you didn't, right? Well, one of the things you can do is I don't know why I'm drawing this, but the first thing you can do, and this applies to any token, right? The first thing you want is, do you have conviction? Conviction can't be the brown gent said to buy it. That is the worst conviction to have. You can listen to me saying I love Hyperliquid and you can look into it, right? Some of the biggest reason I love Hyperliquid is on-chain Binance, but the actual biggest reason is because they buy their own token with the fees that are generated from the platform. Also, I love using the Hyperliquid platform. It's the best perp dex I've ever used. So those are the reasons that I'm very bullish on Hyperliquid. Now, that being said, there's also Hyper EVM. So if you have the wealthy Hypeo babies, you potentially have been getting massive airdrops, which has been fantastic. That thing has also been skyrocketing. It's also priced in hype if you're doing it right. If it's priced in ETH, you're not getting airdrops, so you're doing it wrong. Make sure if you got the wealthy Hypeo baby NFT that you bridge it over to Hyper EVM. But if you now have conviction in something, the first thing you want to do, if you don't want to miss out, get a starter position. Maybe that's 5%, maybe that's 10% of the tokens you want to hold. So if you want to hold, I don't know, 1,000 hype, let's say you got $20,000 or whatever, right? Or something. And you're like, okay, I want 1,000 hype. Well, maybe you buy 100 hype now or 200 hype, right? That will get you your 5 to 10%. Then once we start revisiting like liquidity zone, so let's say we go here. So let's say we're now at between 19 and 20, then you can buy some more. Like maybe you buy, so you buy 10% today, let's just say, right? I wish I could draw better on this. Then you buy 10% here, then you buy 20% here. God, I'm so bad at drawing. Then you buy 40, actually, what am I saying? Then you buy the 70% here, okay? Let's say we come back down here. Then you buy 70% here, okay? If it comes like that. You get what I'm saying? So you could do it that way. And that way, you're happy with either outcome. If it goes up, you already got an exposure. You're up. If it goes down, okay, fantastic. You can fill your bags. What you don't want to do is buy 100% right here, watch it come down and go, oh, I don't want to buy any more of this crap. And then you sit there and you don't average DCA down, right? So this is sort of how I would do it. And I would use the same method for any token I have conviction in. And if I have conviction and I'm willing to put my hard-earned money into this, and if you're willing to put your hard-earned money in this, then you better, at the minimum, either draw the chart or follow somebody who knows technical analysis, who's covered the chart, so you know where the right buy zones are, where the liquidity is. That way, you can make a plan and do the same thing, right? So starter position 5 to 10% if you really must. Then you start filling in the gaps as the liquidity goes, as you move down toward liquidity zones. I hope that makes sense. Hey, World of AI, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Hey, NW, yo. You think Eclipse will cook? So here's the thing. I think there's a lot of people out there who are butthurt about the way Alucard and the team are going about the Eclipse airdrop. Now, if you guys remember, I did a video with Christian Peter over a year ago where we rated the top airdrops, right? Eclipse was the #1 airdrop that I rated. At the time, I had no idea how this airdrop would look like. I just liked the sort of concept of, Sol on EVM, right? Sounds fantastic, right? Putting those two ecosystems together like a hybrid sounded absolutely amazing. Now, here's the thing. From what I understand, ES will be not a gas token, right? Because I believe they use Ethereum on Eclipse. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some update that I missed, but in this case, because of that, I think the Eclipse token is, I don't want to say meaningless or worthless, but I hope there's some value to the token. So that will dictate, how much is held, sold, whatever, right? As you guys know. But the second thing is, Alucard and the team have made it very clear that it's very community focused. And it's not about influencers. It's not about farming and whatever. I think ASC, the after school club NFT matters and stuff for that. So could be good, but we'll see. I've gotten mixed signals before because Scroll was very much temper your expectations. The best expectations are low expectations or some garbage like that. And then they basically, I got $1,000 off Scroll, right? Off an airdrop. But I think for the most part, people got nothing. And, the way they handled it was horrible. They did a lot of milking campaigns with the dice and everything. But I personally think Eclipse will do well. I think, it's a very good L2 of sorts, like an ETH. It's almost like an ETH L2, even though you have to use a backpack wallet and whatever. But I like it. So I like it. I hope it does well. And I'm betting on it doing well. I'm also betting that Linea will do well if they ever find a way to do their airdrop. They literally keep delaying it. So it's so annoying. But yeah. Mark Hillenberg. Oh yeah, how's it going, Mark? Good stuff this week. Thank you. Not a problem. For those of you who don't know, Mark's actually the one who brought virtuals to my attention back in October. This guy's been printing like a fiend, and we've been catching some nice virtual launchpad plays in our private Discord. So yeah, and I just dropped the latest play in there, so it's pretty cool. How's it going, X Crypto? Is that a picture of the Burj Khalifa? Literally, you know what's funny? So I don't know if that is, but it literally looks like the view from my window right here. Like I can literally look out and see the Burj Khalifa exactly like that. Like it's hard to tell from this side, from this screen, but it definitely looks like it. Is it time to take profits? Yeah, well, here's what I would do. I sold some stuff, but I would shave. I would not sell completely. If you bought the dip, sell some. Sell some to give you the room to buy if we get a bit of a retrace off this massive green day, right? I'm still holding the majority of my positions because I believe we'll keep running. And as we keep going up, I will keep trimming, right? My core positions have been sort of been hold, right? Like you can see here, like Pepe, whatever, didn't touch that, you know, didn't touch any ETH on chain. My Trust Me Bros is doing pretty good. My Andy's doing pretty well, right? Like 5,300. I think, where's Virtuals? It's at the top, right? Yeah. Virtuals is like 17K. Yeah. Not selling any of that yet. Where do I think ETH goes next? So I think, you know, so ETH was supposed to go to 2,100, which is sort of what our plan was. And then let me bring up the chart. Oh, we're at 2,100. We literally did this in the last like few minutes. Yeah. Like, what is this? Like we broke through 2,100 9 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? And remember, guys, I want you guys to do me a favor. Do not forget who on the timeline was telling you it was over, not to buy ETH and all this stuff. You guys, you are the ones who control who gets attention. You are the ones who control sort of what you see. Don't give these people the attention, the time of day. They literally make money by steering you wrong, right? So if somebody was steering you wrong, telling you this nonsense, and now they're like, oh, I'm so happy you were back at 2K. We're not going to go lower than that. Like, these people are so fake and phony, right? You got to be very careful with your sources. But so now that we're here, right, you guys remember the plan, right? So let's go back to the plan. Let's go back to the daily. You guys remember this, right? We were at 2,800 before. So you guys remember this plan, right? We're going to come down from here. We bounce here, or we come down then bounce. Well, we're bouncing. And basically, expectation is to get to 2,800 level again, right? So this was the major point of resistance. Let me just sort of go in here. Just to remind you guys, I don't want to give you guys PTSD, but Eric Trump, buy Ethereum, thank me later, right? Remember that? Right here? Woo! Well, we are now finally retracing the move, right? We came down a little bit lower than, you know, started sweating for a bit, but we've now broken through this, which is fantastic. Would love to see a candle close on the daily above this, and then we move up. So we move toward 2,800. Now back then, so Jackus, let me just sort of share what Jackus was saying. Once we break the 2,100 and flip it, then it's all steam ahead. 2,300 used to be the level, but 2,100 became it once we came all the way down here. So I think what's going to happen, obviously, I'm not psychic, but I think perhaps we go like this. God, I didn't draw properly, sorry. So we go like up like this, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that, like that. You know what I mean? Like I expect us to test this, like this level, come back down, break through, come back and test it again, and then do it. I just realized you guys can't see the line properly on the screen. Just give me a second. Here we go. So just so you guys can see it, okay? So test, retest, reject, come back, break through, retest, then move all the way up to 2,000, okay? That's what I think will happen. We'll see. Crypto Black, DCA, yes, that's correct. What's up, Jen? I'm doing good. You know what's funny? So somebody who's watching my video was like, yo, you're gaining weight, bro. Your chin's getting rounder. So I had to go and get my beard trim done. I just did that before I came on. Stupid me closed swing longs on Hyperliquid yesterday evening. It's okay. Look, dude, You made a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like you made a bunch of money. You can't go wrong. Remember, you're never going to play this perfectly. And what you want to do this skill. And here's what I think. Like, congratulations on making money. And I'm learning this too, right? So the more comfortable you get with following your process, right? I don't know if you've ever played poker, but when you play poker, you start at small stakes, right? You're playing like maybe online, 5 cent, 10 cent, playing live, you're playing $1, $3 blinds. As you get better, you start playing higher stakes. The beauty about crypto versus poker is when you're playing at the higher stakes, you're playing against people who have a lot more money and probably a lot more skill than you. Right? And they've got more comfortability at those levels. But when you're doing this in crypto, like, you know, what was like $100 trade or $1,000 margin trade can become a $10,000 margin trade. So you build your comfort. It's like a snowball going downhill. Remember, you have as long as your life is to keep doing this, right? Because these opportunities will continue to exist. And just don't focus on the size of the win. Focus on the win. Focus on the process, focus on doing things right, do it consistently, and then you build your comfortability, and then your size of your trade will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and your wins will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't worry about not capturing the full move. Ask yourself, if you document it, you journal. So I tell my clients, what could you have done differently, right? Like there have been trades that I've done where I put it down as it was a bad trade, even though I made money, because I didn't follow my thesis, right? Case in point, I bought a rune stone for 0.015 BTC like last year, and I sold it for 0.025 BTC, and then it went to 0.09 BTC in a week, and I was like, that was my thesis, but I just got happy that I was making $1,000, so I sold it, which is so dumb. So document this stuff, it'll help you. Like I said, focus on the process. Congratulations on the win. Alberta getting blocked by a judge. I mean, honestly, like I see a lot of that stuff on Twitter now. I'm trying not to engage on that, I'll be honest, because the Kaito airdrops, like they give you a lot of yaps and whatever. Once I stopped engaging with political posts on Twitter, my yap count started increasing again, like significantly. So I'm like, all right, you don't need to tell me anything else. I will think. From what I understand though, like I think the First Nations were really pissed off about it too and everything. Honestly, like Alberta is holding up all of Canada. I cannot believe that somehow the Liberals tricked the Canadians to vote for them again. Like, say what you will about Mark Carney and whatever, it's the last thing I say about politics, but it's not even so much him, even though I don't trust him, but it's the same people who did the same stuff for the last 10 years in Canada. They're not changing, and that's the problem. Cosmos is so Cosmos is the worst, fan man. I mean, I don't know how many times I've got to say it. Cosmos is the shittiest ecosystem. Terra, Mantra, now Movement. Yeah, well, the problem is, right, like, and I'm not even a fan of Akash, I'll be honest with you. Well, this is my feeling on it. Every single person I know who's bullish on Cosmos has a financial incentive. Literally every single person who have ever, and this is the one thing I don't like about crypto, is dishonesty. It's okay to say, hey, I'm paid, I'm a validator, I get paid by them or whatever, but to constantly just back these shitty teams and terrible products up and saying, oh my God, they're amazing, but in reality, they're paying you, right? Like they're paying you because you make money if you're a validator, right? So this is the issue with Cosmos, is that entire ecosystem, the biggest players are validators. So they just keep bull posting all this crap because they want to make money off of you buying the token, staking with them. They make money off emissions and validators and everything else. And then basically what ends up happening is you're left holding the bag. And then you have stuff like Movement. Oh yeah, you get rid of Rushio, whatever his name is. What does that do? The guy literally was dumping on everyone. And this is what happens in Cosmos too. They are all dumping on you. All of the validators, the people they give the money to for projects are their friends. I know this because I know validators and they've told me this, right? Some of them will tell me up front, but they will never say this publicly. And I hate that. I hate this stupid ecosystem. Fan man, I got wrecked on Move Clip. 98K. How much was that? How much was 98K tokens? That's absolutely brutal. I hope 98 tokens wasn't that much. Sorry to hear that. I'm just, yeah. It is so bad. Like, I remember when one of my friends in real life who knew nothing about crypto told me that he was buying Cosmos, and I was like, really? It's good? So I bought it, and like the tokens appreciated, and then like they completely just got destroyed because of everything with Juno and not so much Osmo, but really like Atom and Cosmos was just so bad. Hey, we got Say Muriel in the house. Hey, Say Muriel. If you guys aren't following Say Muriel on Twitter, make sure you do so. I was telling her this earlier. I have no idea how she posts so much content, like absolute machine, like posts. And these aren't like, few cents. These are literal threads daily. Check her out on Twitter. Feels like everything in crypto is a feature. It's funny. So like, one of the things I'll tell you is like, Richard Hart has this thing that like a lot of these like, I don't want to call them fake influencers, but like I've literally never seen somebody who has money. Like, I mean, yeah, like you occasionally buy the nice like Gucci or Louis Vuitton item or whatever, but like their clothing is dog shit. Like I have literally gone into like, I have this habit of whenever I'm traveling, I go into the LV store, I go into Gucci, whatever, see if they've got something. I always check their clothes, and I have yet to find a piece I want. And literally the only reason they buy the clothing is because it's a flex. But the clothing is like $2,000. It doesn't fit. They're usually like an eyesore. Like the colors are terrible. And the only things I ever found that are good at these stores were like belts, hats. You guys have seen like, I think you've seen my Gucci hat and my Louis Vuitton hat and whatever. The wallets are pretty nice. Like I bought this back in 2005, and like literally when I bought it, I remember I was like, I say this and I'm gonna age myself, but I was like not a teenager, like a young, like I was like 19 or 20 or whatever, right? And what happened was my dad was like, you paid 500 or 600 Canadian for this, and he's like, you'll never have as much money in here, right? But he was wrong. But like, here's the thing, the quality, like I've literally had this for 20 years, and it's literally like looks pretty much brand new. So you do get what you pay for in quality, but if you go to these stores, don't buy the garbage, and those guys are like disgusting flexers, right? Buy the accessories, they actually last long. What do I think is a greater chance to happen first? Push past? Oh, I think we hit resistance. Like, here's the thing, like Jordan, you guys remember, right? Like when we were coming down, right? And let's go to Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin's the best to show this. When Bitcoin was coming down, right? And we were like literally here, right? So let's say we're here, right? So this is like December, and we came down, bounced up, came down, bounced up, came down, bounced up, right? Sort of the shoulder pattern, whatever, right? And then we came back down, came a tiny bit, went down, came back up, went down, went up. Remember, it's that pattern, right? The market doesn't just go in a straight line. It never does. Like, that was something I remember I learned that, and once I learned that, my mind got blown. That it's never like this. It's always like this. And the idea here is every bounce gives an opportunity for bigger players to get out. So, and usually it happens at key levels. So that's why I don't think we'll just straight up go to 106. I mean, we could, but I'll be very, very surprised to see that, right? I would expect, in this range actually for us to come back down a tiny bit and then go up. Of course, it doesn't have to happen that way, which is why we play probabilities, right? So Jordan, one of the things we've talked about in the office hours, right, is we don't just sort of say, okay, it's 100% going to happen this way. What we say is, okay, well, these are the options. So what's the best way to play it, right? So the best way to play it is, number one, you want to have exposure, because what you don't want to do is say, okay, I'm going to sell everything here, right? Like if you sell out where we are right now, and you're like, all right, I'm selling out here, and the market goes like this, you're going to be like, fuck the brown jet. I'm not listening to brown jet anymore, right? But what you actually want to do is say, okay, if I think, we get to a sort of level, like, so you can see it here, this is actually pretty much a very strong resistance level, right? You can see where it crosses on the rest of the chart. Could be a nice area to sell a tiny bit, right? Take some partial profits. In that way, if we come back down, you can then use that money to buy back, and then you have more of the Bitcoin, right? Because if you sold over here, you're able to use that money to buy more Bitcoin, and then you ride it up. Now, obviously, you can just close your eyes and say, hey, you know what? I'm okay. I don't want to overtrade. I think it'd be easier for me if I just said, hey, I'm going to sort of sit tight and then just follow the market, because we will get there. We're going to pass these all-time highs. So it's either way you want to play it. I'm greedy, so I like sort of doing it this way. And also because I like playing the probabilities a bit more, right? But either way is fine. I hope that sort of answers your question. I own 2 after-school clubs. Yeah, I think it will. Jermaine, just make sure you don't have them listed on Scope Pro, because I think that might disqualify you. That's the only thing. Yes, it is. Being there last year. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I thought so. Honestly, one day I'm going to do it. So I have a very nice balcony, and the balcony view is literally that. I will do a live stream on there, You know what? If we had like okay, how's this? If we had 125K Bitcoin, or no, when we hit 125K Bitcoin, I will, what should I give about? I will give 2,500 US out on stream, right? And we will do the live stream, the drawing out on the balcony. I'll be, sipping champagne, and we'll do a drawing, and we'll have the Burj Khalifa in the background. All right, how's that? 2,500 USD. All right. What? So 2,500 USD giveaway once we hit 125K Bitcoin. Book it. I'm just gonna write that down so I don't forget. 125K Bitcoin. All right. Cool. What do I think about CZ saying? I mean, of course he's gonna say it. Like, remember, CZ makes money, or I'm sure, like, he makes money because of the Binance token, and Binance is sort of propped up by Binance, right? So I really think that it's in his best interest to tell you as many insane targets as he wants to. Don't believe that stuff, because at the end of the day, right? Like, what I want you to understand is, have you ever looked at the top assets by market cap? Let me just bring this up for you. I want you to take a look at this and then decide what the hell? What just happened? Okay. Okay, here we go. So what I want you to do, number one, these are all assets that I think, you guys should hold, like gold, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, whatever, Bitcoin's right here, silver's here. Now, Bitcoin is sitting at $2 trillion. At a market cap of 500,000, Bitcoin is $10 trillion. At a market cap of $1 million, this is 20 trillion. Do I think we get there? Yes, I do. But I don't think it's this year, right? And remember, when we talk about cycles, right, we're now looking at regular market movement, right? So we're going to have periods of bullishness, periods of bearishness, but it's no longer the 4-year cycle. So I really, and this is what I tell sort of my friends, I was telling my friend in Canada this, and like, she was like, oh, I don't touch crypto. And I'm like, yo, because she finds it very complicated, which, most people do. I'm like, yo, just buy Bitcoin. Like, she's pregnant with her second kid. And I'm like, yo, just buy some Bitcoin and literally never look at it again. I sort of sent her like this app in Canada that you can buy it. And I'm like, just buy it here. And when I'm back in Canada, I'll show you how to like store it somewhere. But like, you're good. Because one of the things I think is we are still at a time period where Bitcoin is still affordable, right? Bitcoin is still very cheap. And I think in the future, we will flip gold. We will eventually flip gold. It's not going to happen the next year or two or whatever, but we eventually will, which is why I'm very happy to have massive bets on Bitcoin, because even if I'm wrong, let's say we correct, I don't care. I'm playing the long game here too. You know what I'm saying? Do I think these L2s will end up blowing up ETH? I don't think they blow up ETH. I think the problem with Ethereum, and honestly, I think we're part of the problem, right? Like, who likes paying gas fees? I was listening an NFT. It cost me $2.50 to listen to NFT today, and I'm like, oh, that's horrible, right? And the thing is, when ETH, when sort of ETH is sort of allowing the space and whatever, Base and the other L2s weren't really paying their fair share. So when that is happening, when the money is coming back to ETH, I think that's going to help. I think a lot of the ETH L2s are useless. How many ETH L2s have launched in the last year or two, right? Scroll is garbage. Zora is garbage. I think Base is good, and I think Arbitrum are good. But does ZK Sync need a chain? No. I mean, they gave me like 40,000 US in an airdrop, but like, is that like a reason to have an L2? No. So these L2s, what I would recommend is just farm them and get off them, unless they have a killer app. Now, if they have a killer app and it's sort of the one thing you can do, like I think Blast had Fantasy Top for a bit, now Monad's gonna have it. Well, that's the only reason to go to L2s. But I don't think that's the case, and I think that one of the reasons I'm very bullish on Ethereum is not just because it's the second biggest market cap token, but it also has a moat, right? So what you want to look at is like, who's going to buy this token, right? Like when you're investing, when you're buying Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, whatever it may be, you've got to ask yourself who the marginal buyer is, which is, okay, well, who's going to buy this from me later? If everyone's already in, no one's going to buy it from you, right? Well, Ethereum, they not only, do people regularly buy it and use it for gas, but it's also being bought by BlackRock for the fund. So you constantly have these inflows of purchasing. So I think it's fantastic, which is why I'm very happy that they only have 2 ETFs for BlackRock. BlackRock, and Vanguard are the 2 biggest financial institutions out there that control the majority of assets under management. So in my opinion, having Bitcoin and ETH under them is it makes me feel a lot more secure putting a lot of money in ETH, let's just say. Still completely out on Say. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Say. So here's why I don't like Say or whatever. I try to talk to the team about making changes, but literally they were only interested about making videos promoting garbage on chain, bribing content creators with 5,000 or 10,000 Say tokens, and none of these content creators actually believe in Say, so they just dump it. The fact that Pallet Exchange, which was their number 1 NFT platform, literally was we can't survive here, tells you all you need to know. Yaka Finance, horrible. All of the projects on the Say ecosystem have gotten completely shit on. The only one I like that's still there, I believe, is called Saiyans, right? You can get a Dragon Ball Z NFT kind of character or whatever, but that's no reason to use a chain. And I'm sure these guys will port onto another chain eventually when C goes under. I personally don't think it's good. Justin, here's what I would do. So let me look at Say. So I think Say was what, $1 at one point? Yeah, maybe, was it $1? Yeah, there we go. It was $1, right? So one of the things you can do is you have to look at this as a sunk cost, okay? At the end of the day, there's no point leaving your money in here if you don't think it's going to outperform from here. So if I told you that Say will, I don't know, 3x from here, would you be happy? And if the answer is yes, well, why not put it into another token that's just got a way better chance of 3xing? For me, if I had money in Say here, I would move it into XRP at this point. I think XRP is $2.20. XRP, could basically go to $8 to $9 or whatever, right? Potentially. I don't think the Say token will do that well. Or you can find another altcoin. You can look at Fartcoin when it sort of, has a bit of a retrace. Fartcoin can do well. Pepe can do well. There's just many other things you can put your money into. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but the last thing you want to do is just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to hold this bag until it recovers. Why not put it into something that will just appreciate better, right? Don't look at it like you're down a bunch of money. hey, I want to take this money and grow it to whatever you hand it to. What's the best token to invest in today to do that? And likely, I don't think it's safe. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Unless they change stuff, I don't see it happening. That's why I stay at 1-3 in poker. Yeah, exactly. See, and that's the thing, right? Like, it's so funny because I used to only play 1-3, and now I find 2-5 boring because, like, once you like gamble meme coins and stuff, you literally just start going. Like you're just so bored, you know what I mean? I remember I was in Vegas for my one of my really good friends' bachelor party this last summer, and I was looking at the WIF token, and I'm just sitting there looking at meme coins, and like, you know, I'm in like a couple $100 pots and whatever, and I literally could care less. I'm just like, whatever, you know, like you don't feel anything anymore. I used to feel like, it's crazy. I used to feel anxious when I put $100 into the pot on 1-3, and I don't feel anything anymore. And I think it's because of meme coins and stuff. They ruined you. Like, they like make you have this cognitive dissonance in throwing money into sort of casino and hoping to make more, right? I'm happy with the games, just unlucky. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, all you can do is ask yourself, what can you do differently, and just build your comfortability, right? Like, what you said some key words here, right? You were scared. You were scared not because of the FOMC bringing a small drawdown, but you were scared because your conviction wasn't as strong in your thesis. And I'm not saying that your thesis wasn't strong, but that whenever I felt this way, it means I've oversized on a trade, right? Like, if I told you to put like $100 into Ethereum, you'd be like, okay, sure, right? What about $1,000? What about $1 million? At a certain point, your conviction runs out. Even if it's Bitcoin, at a certain point, you're like anxious. Where is that? And if that's the case, you have to recognize that you will start making changes to your behavior and say, okay, if I put too much, I will sell early. So how much am I okay with doing where I can believe and have conviction in my thesis? You know what I'm saying? It went over a $1 move. Oh my God. And you had 98,000 tokens? I don't get it. Did you not sell it or what happened? Oh my God. Initial NFTs. Oh, I was pissed. I bought Raccoon for like 0.35 ETH. What is that? Like, let me just check. I have a spreadsheet where I track this stuff. Yeah, I paid $1,210. And they listed the floor of the NFT at like what? 70 initial token, which is like $70. What a huge L. I mean, honestly, I'm happy I faded all the other NFTs, but like, here's what I learned, and it's a painful lesson. NFTs are like expensive club memberships. The difference is you only have a few invites going out. So like Kaito Genesis NFTs, a very good example where, you know, it's a special club. You get access to a bunch of benefits, right? So like you have airdrops. We got the Boop airdrop. I was holding, I think, 4 NFTs at the time of the snapshot. So my airdrop was worth like $3,000. I only hold 2 now. So be it. Like I actually sold 3 and bought back 1. So I have 2. And then you have like the Wealth IPO babies, which is also now worth like maybe 6,000 or 7,000 US. And once again, it's like, that's a special club NFT. It's like the premier NFT on Hyperliquid, and that is getting a bunch of airdrops and whatever, right? So you have to be very particular. And the best thing you can do, and I didn't do this with Anisha, like every time I don't listen to my thesis, I get hurt. My whole plan originally was to buy the NFT and flip it, and I literally could have done that. I could have made like 0.1 ETH profit, and I chose to no, I'm just gonna wait because it's gonna be great, and just petered out, right? That's just the problem with hype cycles, right? You guys probably remember when I think I bought a Pudgy Penguin for 19 ETH, sold it for 25. It's funny, when I sold it for 25, it was listed and it went up to 30 and I sold it at 25. I'm like, oh, like I just missed it because the candle went through it. But then it came back down and I bought it at 16 and then it went to 8. And I didn't buy a second. I should have. And now it's at 12, right? So this is the thing. Like when you're overexposed, like I'm not as convicted in Pudgy Penguins, but the problem is when you don't have the strong enough conviction, you're not willing to buy the dip in a more sort of methodological manner, right? Absolute madman. That's awesome. Yeah, not listed, being an AMA, and they've been stating listed ASC got nothing. Whew. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Hugo? What's going on? Sheesh. That's killer. 2,500. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If it goes 25, if BTC goes to 125K, this is gonna be fantastic for me. Let me tell you that. The 2,500, yeah, sure. It's the least I can do. No, I'm not shaving the beard off. So let me tell you something. So I had to keep this whole thing shaved for like a month and a bit because my dermatologist asked me to for some like pico laser procedure or whatever. So I hated having it shaved off. So I just like it better. You know what I mean? I only want the champagne in front of birds. So guess what? I've already front run this. So I went and grabbed this. So we got a bottle of Dom once we hit 125K, okay? So we got it. We're ready to go, all right? We'll make sure we make an announcement on that. My only concern is that I wash traded to get some of the boost in turbo tap days. What do you mean wash traded? You could do that? Like, I thought the only way turbo tap disqualified you or anything was an auto clicker. I don't think wash trading is an issue. Bro said 5 trillion market cap, which is nothing if BTC is that high. Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, if Bitcoin is $500,000, like that thing alone would be 10 trillion, right? So like, I think, what are we at? We're at 3.1 or something. What's our market cap? Yeah, 3.16 trillion market cap, right? And like our peak was 3.7. So I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Yeah. So Skill, I don't know if you're in the Discord. Can't remember, but that's the one I bid on. And by the way, one of the things I will show you guys is literally like, and this is crazy. Where is it? Right here. So let me just show you guys this. Okay. Look at that. So if you're lacking points for virtuals, like, let me tell you something. Let me put it in perspective, okay? I have $18,000 worth of virtual token. I got $500 of Vader staked. And I'm getting like pittance of points. I make content about virtuals and literally get 9,000 points. 9,000. Don't be sidelined. Use your yapping skills to get access. It's crazy. Like, it's insane. Like, look, 9,000. And yes, so for those of you who are wondering, by the way, just so you guys know, I will be making a video or having a video. Where the hell is it? I have it somewhere here. There's a video coming out soon, basically on virtual launches and how to play them. I've just been really, really busy recently, so I haven't been able to do it. Let me just find it for you guys. So let me just show you. This is what it looks like. So this, okay? It is coming out. It'll be there soon, okay? Thoughts on Sonic Airdrop? It's okay. Honestly, like, it's supposed to happen this summer. Don't know how well it's going to do. Who knows, right? I'm not like too upset. I think it's like 50 cents, so it's whatever. Sol? Yeah, I think Sol is good. Like, let's go to Sol over here. Yeah, so let's go to Sol over here. So my expectation was to get to like 190, right? And like you see here, like 190 is where I would likely open up a short. And obviously if it, invalidates whatever, then I just sort of close the short and keep riding the longs. But it's not bad. Yeah, I think, like, once again, I think we trade sideways all the way up to 190 at least, okay? It doesn't change. And the reason for this is for me, it's who's doing the ETF, right? So I know like a lot of other smaller funds are sort of starting to create ETFs. But I'm talking about the big guns, right? If BlackRock starts listing other alt ETFs, then that's fantastic for them too, right? Because all I'm looking for is continuous flow of money in, right? And ETH and Bitcoin are the two strongest. Is it Initial linked to Cosmos? Is it? So I don't have any Initial token. I got an Initial airdrop and I cheated it basically. I didn't think it was linked to Cosmos. I mean, it does have a weird like starting name. Finally, ETH has moved, such a relief. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was tough. It was tough. But this is why you've sort of got to like tune out the noise and make sure you're following experts. Because otherwise, you're gonna start making the wrong moves. You're gonna hodl, you're gonna buy ETH at 2,800 when Eric Trump tells you to, and then you're gonna sell it at 1,600 when Anton tell you ETH is done, it's over, like it's cooked, you know? So you gotta be very, very particular. And I'm not saying this to be harsh on others, but if you start listening to people who are always wrong or sort of, you know, just have zero accountability for the things they say, then you're just going to hurt yourself because it's going to seep into the back of your mind. You may be bullish, but some other idiot's telling you ETH is going to zero and they're always wrong. But you start seeping in the back of your head and you're like, oh, ETH went up 5%, I'm going to sell all of it. And then ETH goes up another 30%. You're like, what did I do? They never gave the airdrop if you claimed on mainnet. If you claimed on, oh man. How does that even work? So you claimed on mainnet and they said they use the centralized exchange excuse. Sorry, wrong chain, so we can't get your funds. Like, how did they do that for $100,000 and you didn't make any noise about that? Really? Oh my god. What about Whale Shark? Honestly, Whale Shark. So I say this is somebody, and this goes once again back to the Kaito flywheel, right? So if you guys followed some of my videos on Kaito, it was actually a pretty good community. There's a group called Yappers Collective, okay? And in Yappers Collective, they would sort of basically allow you to participate in voting. You voted, and we did the union leaderboard. So they're giving us like for each vote, like for each NFT that voted, which was insane, they gave us $1,000 in USDC, insane, for each NFT. Then they gave you their NFT as well. So for every vote, so I had 2 NFTs at the time. So I got 2 Wandering Whale NFTs. I got $2,000, and I'm getting $500 when their token generation event happens. $250 for each NFT vote. Absolute insanity. Like, this is why like Kaito has literally made me so much money this cycle. Would you still wholesale? Well, I've been trying to sell this stupid thing. I believe like the problem was, I think, what is it, 170 Celestia? Yeah, the floor price for this is 172. And I wish I sold this when it was much higher, but like, I think this will bump up a tiny bit and I want to dump it. So it is what it is. I swap back and forth. Oh, then you're fine. Like, that won't matter. Like, I don't think they're going to care that you did that on some other protocols. It's okay, because remember, you may be wash trading, but you're paying fees. So that's when they're looking at those boosts, the idea on those boosts was for you to pay fees or for you to take a negative EV action on some partner's platform. That's just a reality, right? If that was basically a marketing campaign for you to get involved in their ecosystem, but their ecosystem apps are making money off you, either through your swap fees or if you participated in any of those like chance events, they never paid you the direct odds. You got the same odds like, you would at a casino, right? Like, you don't get 50-50 odds on a coin flip, right? It would be like 51% for them, 49% for you or whatever for a payout. So stuff like that. Is Mad Labs worth grabbing now? Let me check. And what I will tell you is I got a chance. Wow, it's 39 SOL? What the hell? What? Oh wow, yeah, I might buy Mad Lads. No, I think it's very good actually. 39 Sol for a Mad Lad's pretty decent. Now, here's a couple things I'll talk to you about. Okay, so I went to the Backpack VIP event in Dubai. It's like Token 2049 side event. And I actually got to meet the creator of Mad Lads, Armani. He's also the CEO of Backpack. If you are, like, let's say use Binance, I would rather use Backpack than Binance for the most part. And the reason I say that is on Binance, not Binance, on Backpack, your margin, you actually earn yield off it. So let's say like you open a trade, you got like $20,000 to back up your trade or whatever. Any unused margin is earning you yield, and the yield percentages are actually very, very good, right? You can use Sol, ETH, USDC, whatever you want. You can open multi-accounts, so I use it and I move profits to another wallet. It's pretty good. And if you have Mad Lads, and this is sort of why I'm getting to this, you get their VIP tier fees. So you're paying very, very small fractions. I believe you'd have to do over like $10 million in volume. I think that's the number, or maybe it's $5 million in volume to have the same benefits. Beyond that, Mad Lads is also the premier Sol NFT. So whenever there is a big airdrop, like if you had a Mad Lad NFT, you would have got the Pengu airdrop from it, right? You would have got the elite role in their Discord. So there's a ton of things. I think like Wormhole had like maybe $2,000 or $3,000 for them as well. Most Sol ecosystem airdrops are tied to this. In fact, my thought, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but I speculated back in the day when Eclipse only could use Backpack, that perhaps they were going to reward Mad Lad holders. But I don't think that's going to be the case anymore, given what Alucard's saying. But you never know. I just think you can't go wrong holding a Mad Lads. Very good community. They have a ton of airdrops, and their Discord is like pretty legit in the sense that you go in and there's literally like an actual tab for airdrop, so you don't miss out. One of the challenges I have with all the NFTs I have is I literally can't keep on top of everything. It's so hard. Am I farming icon Sui? Not really. So I've basically stopped pretty much most of my farming operations on Sui. I just don't have the time. There are some nice cooks, right? There was Hadel recently, Walrus before that, Blue before that. I think Sui is great. I just think like, you've got to focus. You got to basically focus, right? Right now, Virtuals has like my attention just because of the amount of potential money to be made there. Like there's so much money to be made on those launches, which is why I'll have the video out soon. But I mean, good luck, and I hope you do well on this. I think, I think Sui is fantastic. I think it will do well. I really hope that Pokemon rumor is great because that's bumping up the price. In fact, let me just check how my Sui log is doing. Hope it's doing okay. Yeah. Oh wow. Nice. So, I don't know if you guys see it. It's like up like $200. Not bad. We'll close that bad boy right here. You know what I mean? I was just doing a nice scalp, so it was a nice $200. I'm the Discord missed your post. So the Virtuals launch that this is called Wimbet. So this is the one, and I'm gonna go through this anyways like later. But there's some really good callers for Virtuals who are like very well in tune with the teams and stuff. When I make my video, for most people, you'll understand like there's some nuances. Now, if you are able to yap and create content, then you will just get points and you don't have to worry about like cooldowns and such. But if you're holding tokens to earn points, then you have to worry. So there's this like weird balance, but I'll make a video to sort of talk about this. Okay. That's what this video will be. I don't know why, but I can't get yaps for Kaito. I tried hard for 2 weeks with like 2 to 3 posts a day. And after, here's the thing, the skill, let me be vulnerable and show you something, okay? So here's the reality of it. You literally, it's so hard to, number one, I get it, right? Like it's so hard to post when, your engagement's not that great. I mean, like I come on YouTube and I get like I get like hundreds of viewers, right, at a time on a live stream, or I get like, 1,000 views on a video. You post the same thing on Twitter and I get like a few likes, some views, whatever, because different mediums and like I think video is just way better than tweets in general. Obviously a lot more effort. You can see here I've been here for an hour and 12 minutes. But one of the things you just got to get used to and being okay with doing is, you need to find a way to create content that somebody goes, I need more of that. And the problem that you may see is what big accounts do will not work for you. So big accounts can write GM and get 100,000 views, 1,000 likes, whatever. They can write some bullshit on there and get a ton of likes. When you're starting, I'm not struggling. I mean, it's a challenge, right? You literally have to create value. So you want to basically build up your audience. You want to build up people who watch or look at your content. And every now and then, you're going to write something that gets you a lot of engagement. So let me show you something. This is sort of, vulnerability, right? Like I said, you guys know I'm very transparent. Look at this. So, what the hell? Okay. So you see this? Like between February 21st and March 14th, I got 0 yaps. So in this case, I did 3 weeks of posting. And by the way, I'm posting anyways, right? But I did 3 weeks where I got 0 yaps, right? Then over the course of 3 days, I got 60 yaps. Then nothing for another 3 weeks. Then a couple yaps. Then nothing for another 3 weeks. And then 16 yaps. So don't be too hard on yourself, right? I look at a lot of people. There are some people who just got the gift and they got thousands of yaps, right? And they keep doing it. But every one of us has our own strong suit, right? The way I look at this is, I don't care if I don't get yaps. Am I providing value, right? The way my metric is, how many value add posts am I making? And the way you sort of see that in a sort of leading indicator is, well, how many people either engage with my post, bookmark my post, start following me, right? That's what you want to see. Keep doing that. And every now and then, if you keep trying to hone your craft, you will create content that will get you yaps. Okay? Like I said, I literally showed you guys, you gave up after 2 weeks. I had 3 week stretches where I got nothing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah. One of the best piece of advice you gave us. Well, thank you. I mean, I'll be honest. You have one of the things I learned a long time ago, and so I used to have a team of direct reports, right? Is you have people who are just experts, and that's the whole idea, right? You don't want to be doing everything, in business and in real life. If you for example, are you going to be the person who knows how to cook all your meals? Are you going to be your own personal trainer? Are you going to be the person who does your analysis? If obviously you can be a superhuman, or you can find people who you respect and say, hey, this is somebody that I think can actually help me here. So this is why, I pay because Bitcoin $300 every month just to hear Jackus talk for an hour every day. I literally sit there, I tune everything out, and I'm just listening to him. And I'm because this guy, I value his content and his experience so much. And also it helps me sort of fine tune sort of the things that I'm doing, right? And that's why I shared it with you guys. He's got a lot of free content on Twitter, and he's very transparent. It's not he's hey guys, I told those suckers the wrong thing on Twitter, but here's the real stuff. No, he tells you guys exactly what it is. And I'm glad that you sort of, you're following Jackus, because he's fantastic. People hate on him because he does what a lot of strong people do, which is he has the ability to pivot, right? So you got new information and you pivot. Most people in crypto are you were bearish last week, you can't be bullish this week. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be able to change and pivot when necessary. And he's so good at doing it. Do I see a retrace coming, Jen? Not a massive retrace, nothing where you're gonna just give everything away. But I do think, I always say this, right? You go up, sideways and up, right? Just you go down sideways, right? You don't just go up in a straight line or down a straight line. it's always a sort of like stair-stepping path, right? Like a zigzag. So I think we will potentially, we could retrace, right? I was saying this right before we get to 106, we could potentially retrace a bit to like 98 or whatever. But you can play it one of two ways, or you can play it either way, which is you can just say, hey, I know what I hold. I don't need to make any more money by sort of trading or over trading. Or what I do, and let me just share this with you, I like to farm perpetual dexes. And if you watch my on-chain video guide to airdrops, whenever we get the retrace, that's when I sort of load up perpetual dexes with funds and just go, okay, buy Pepe here, buy whatever here. And then when they go up, sell. And I make money and I get the XP or whatever point system on Avantis or whatever it may be. Like, let me show you here. Like Avantis is small because I've only been doing like a couple $100 here and there. But, like I started farming this again as of like yesterday or 2 days ago. And like I am ranked 210 with made $723, 25 trades, 25 wins, 100%, because what do I do? Whenever they get a retrace, I buy. A lot of times when I go short is of a hedge, and shorts always end up losing me money, but I'm never more short in something than I am long, unless it's like a new airdrop that I know is going to like 0 or whatever, 102K. Oh, did we get there? Nice. And E2155, sweet. Just $23,000 more. Let me just put that on here. Horizontal line. Where are we? It's not exactly the thing, but you guys know. Well, we'll figure that out and we'll get it there. So that's the giveaway or whatever. Make it bigger. Okay. What's going on with Jupiter? Yeah, so the problem with Jupiter, right, is like people got a little frustrated. I mean, I got frustrated too, right? Ironically, when they were at that burning cat or whatever, it like literally marked the top, right? Catston Bull or whatever, literally just getting completely shanked. Not even that much up off the highs. And if you look at this compared to Fartcoin, like Fartcoin is actually crushing it, whereas I don't know what the hell this thing is doing. Like it's so bad, right? Like this is Fartcoin, and meanwhile Jupiter's like literally like down here in the bottom here still. And the problem is it's a lot of emissions, and what Jupiter was doing a lot of is they were basically creating all these stupid committees and giving a bunch of Jupiter token to them. And it was very much like what the Cosmos ecosystem does. You know what I'm saying? Layer 0 season 2. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've talked about it, and the thing is, a lot of influencers bring it up every so often for engagement. One of the things I always talk about, Eduardo, and you've probably seen this, is actually, if you watch the on-chain video I made about a month ago, I talked about Layer 0, right? It's basically, you just make it part of your process, right? So whenever you're on Jumper Exchange or whatever it may be and you're bridging funds, hey, pay the extra 5 cents or whatever it may be to use Layer 0, because the extra transaction and the fee or whatever will help you get a nice airdrop. I remember summer of last year, I think I got like a $4,000 or $3,000 airdrop bonus just because, the unclaimed tokens, they were giving it out as a surprise to those who kept using the platform. And this allocation that's coming up is not related to that. It's just users in general. So it'll be great. Yeah, not a problem. Like I said, it's still like you're being too hard on yourself, or maybe I'm not being too hard on myself, one of the two. But like, don't worry, right? Like, just focus on making good content, be consistent. And if you look at the yapping channel in our Discord, right? I think it's Claudia or Claude. She's been getting yaps as well. Like, it's great because like she's been grinding hard on abstract. So like, just keep at it, keep finding ways to add value. And if that's your focus, you will basically grow a brand, a Twitter following, a brand, and get yaps. Your number one goal should not just be yaps. I mean, yaps are fantastic, but it should be to grow your brand. I tell this to literally everyone who will listen. Your brand means so much in this world. As we move to a digital online world, being anonymous, I mean, if you're in a country where safety is an issue and you're in crypto, I understand it. or I mean, I guess even with this you can, but you want to be able to have a digital footprint to have trust. Because I've had people reach out to me to do deals and whatever, and I'm like, I don't know you. There's no on-chain thing of you or anything. I don't feel comfortable. And it's the reality. People want to cash in on their brand, but they haven't built their brand. So you do it now, and it'll be very helpful for you. Okay. Any thoughts? Oh, I'm pumped for it, Big Toe. So I think I have like maybe 400 or 500 hype staked. I've used the drip trade or whatever. It's called drip trade. Drip trade. It's their like platform, right? So I minted hypers. I sold my hypers because hypers is whatever, right? But I have a wealthy Hypeo baby. I've used some of the platforms. I think like, just using Hyperliquid and, some of the things here should be great. I think this is a very good NFT in my opinion. This one, the price of this just keeps going up. So I think it will happen. But remember, focus, Big Toe, on just like not so much on farming, but hey, Hyperliquid makes it so good because you already will be using it. Just like Jupiter, right? Whenever you were sort of trading on Solana, you would use Jupiter because like it was the best DEX available. And then all of a sudden, hey, great, I got a rebate for doing it. That's the best way to go about this. That way, you're not looking at the clock going, when's this airdrop going to happen, right? Because otherwise, we start doing all the farming activities only. Like I can't think of a single person who used Linea for any purpose besides the airdrop. And then everyone's just looking at the clock. When is token generation event? When is the airdrop? And delay. Look at Camino Finance. Yeah, like we use it. And like some people will ask about the airdrop every so often, but Camino Finance serves the purpose, right? It's a very good borrowing platform, right? So use the things that will help simplify your process. And then obviously, because it has airdrops and such, like that's a nice bonus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course. So and I get it. You use Lineage to do mitosis, and so do I, but you're not actively doing anything on it. You're just holding like MW ETH on Linea. You're not actually going into Linea and swapping and stuff every day. You know what I'm saying? Any activity most people did on Linea is all airdrop driven. I can't think of a single thing otherwise. I feel like Jupiter wrecked themselves. So Jupiter, like, I don't think that was the issue because Jupiter, like, they didn't even create that much hype for the airdrop. Remember, Jupiter has ASR and, all of those, like, other things, right? Like active staking rewards, they had the LFG launchpad and whatever, right? Well, what happened is, even their airdrop was okay. Like people weren't pissed off about the airdrop. It wasn't like Scroll. It wasn't like Zora. It wasn't like a lot of those shitty things like Starknet, Eigenlayer, whatever. I think the problem with Jupiter was even after their airdrop, the token price kept going up, right? Cat symbol, whatever. They acquired, what was it, Moonlight or Moonbeam or Moonshot. I forget what the hell it's called, that app, right? And what happened after that was people started seeing that all the votes were just like, hey, can we give out like 10,000 or 100,000 Jupiter to XYZ? And like they were giving, people got pissed because they were giving Jupiter to their staff as a bonus. And they're like, you don't deserve a bonus. And let me tell you something. One of the things that, people do in business as well is, you get a bonus, but you don't get a bonus unless you hit certain metrics, right? So like for me, I can't go into too much details because obviously NDA and in the pharmaceutical world, but you have to sort of, like, are you cutting X dollars from your bottom line? Did you increase revenue by X percent? Like, did you onboard X number of physicians into the brand, speakers, blah, 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 all of these things. And they were literally like rating you on. They have not a rubric of sorts, but they basically evaluate you. And based on that, you get your bonus. But the way Jupiter was doing it is you just get a bonus because you get a bonus. And people were like, why are people getting 100,000 Jupiter token? They're already getting a salary. Like, what is going on? And they're like, this is just leading to sell pressure. And when people's tokens price are already down, that's the last thing they want to see. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue. Also, one last thing I'll say on this is it didn't help with Libra and all the other bullshit that came about with Meteora and finding out that, part of Jupiter was exposed and all of these things and all that nonsense. All this stuff happened at the same time and literally just really hurt Sol as an ecosystem. And then people were like, hey, the only thing I want to buy on Sol is Fartcoin because hot air rises. I don't know how we came to that thesis, but that's literally what it was, you know? I guess I will try. Yeah. Well, I mean, just like I said, keep trying and don't look. Don't look at your YAP count. I know it's hard. I used to do it. I promise you. I used to look at my YAP count every single day. What am I kidding? I used to look at it every hour. Like, it hasn't gone up. What the hell? This is like when I first started. But just don't look at it. Focus on creating high quality tweets, because what I don't want you to do is create a high quality tweet, and you may have created something high quality, but the algorithm didn't pick it up. So all of a sudden you think you didn't do the right thing and you change that. Focus more on your metrics on Twitter. Are people liking it? Are people looking at it? Are people retweeting it? Are people bookmarking it? Are people, following you as a result of this? Those are the metrics you look at. Do more of those things, and inadvertently doing those things, building your brand, it will get you yaps. That's the way I would look at it. Okay. Also, obviously, if you talk about things that are related to Kaito's like leaderboards and stuff, it will help you. So you can look up topics there. That would help. We went through that. I need a cool name at Big Toe. Yeah. A cool name like Brown Jen. Somebody asked me actually a few weeks ago why I used the name Brown Jen. They said it was racist. I'm like, I'm brown. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what this means. All right, cool. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. One last thing I do want to say to you guys before I go, I forgot to say this. This token comes out tomorrow. If any of you are qualified, please, 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 this will not be different. I know people love to think that this time will be different, but it will not be. History has shown us that if you get an NFT airdrop token, please just sell the damn thing on the first candle. Do not hold it. Do not hope it's going to go up. If you want to hold the dual token, guess what? You can sell it and buy it back a couple hours later for a cheaper price. What will typically happen, my expectation, Doodle airdrop will happen. People will claim it. They will start dumping doodles on Magic Eden or any NFT platforms. So you will see that price come down significantly. We'll see how well Doodles does. I believe the base level is 185,000. And hopefully you've registered by now. I will be making an airdrop update video soon as well, along with that virtuals video. So definitely keep that in mind. Guys, once again, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Going to do these more regularly, of course. I'm here for you guys. I'm here on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Check me out on YouTube, obviously. I'm going to do these a lot to support you guys. And once again, hope you guys have a fantastic evening, good night, morning, wherever you are. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.